When you've only played in one World Cup, and in that World Cup you finished 32nd out of 32 teams, well, the only way to go is up. That'll be the attitude for Panama, who finished in the basement of the 2018 World Cup in Russia. But with the 2026 version a little closer to home, and with a group that has become cohesive and dangerous in international competitions, there is a much higher hope for this side. Welcome to Kickback Soccer Media's World Cup Capsules, where you'll learn everything you need to know about all 48 of the national teams competing at the 2026 World Cup. From the history of the game, the nation's current World Cup trajectory, unsung heroes, and cultural moments. I'm David Goss, and today we're talking about Los Canaleros. If you're a hardcore CONCACAF scholar like we are here at Kickback, you're probably well-versed in Panama lore. They're the team that indirectly knocked the U.S. out of the 2018 World Cup qualification thanks to a late Roman Torres goal. They've got legendary captain and MLS stalwart Adalberto in the center of their midfield. But if you're not a sicko like us, there's so much to learn about the Canal Men. Affiliated with FIFA since 1938, they were a founding member of CONCACAF since 1961. But despite being around for a while, Panama's soccer history is practically non-existent prior to the 90s. And even then, there wasn't any relative success until the 2000s. Until 2005, Panama only had 2 Gold Cup appearances and no World Cup appearances. With baseball the clearly dominant sport in the country, there was no professional soccer until 1988. Later in the 90s, soccer infrastructure and academies would start to appear throughout the country. And if there is one individual who can be credited with changing the game in Panama, it's Gary Stempel. Half Panamanian, half English, Stempel was born in Panama but moved to England at the age of 6 before eventually moving back to Panama. Stempel had to set up soccer schools, trying to build a football in the community program, and coached at U.S. bases. He ended up becoming manager of Panama Viejo and won the league. From there, he worked with the Panamanian Football Federation, running trials and coaching, finding and developing kids. He took the under-20s to the 2003 FIFA World Youth Championships in the UAE, the first time any Panamanian team had been to a World Cup. When he took over the senior side, he led them to the 2009 edition of what is now the Copa Centroamericana. It became the first tournament Panama ever won. Stempel was one of the reasons Panama reached the World Cup in 2018. He coached a lot of the players through the youth ranks and clubs. Striker Blas Perez said, "Gary was our first coach. He opened the doors to us at a very different moment in Panamanian football history and gave us knowledge. His management was phenomenal." Defender and captain Felipe Baloy added, "We're here because of Gary." Panamanian soccer has come on in leaps and bounds in the last 20 years. In 2024, in the expanded Copa América, they advanced to the quarterfinals after finishing second in their group. They lost their first game 3-1 against Uruguay, but achieved a big upset in the second game, defeating hosts US 2-1. In the third match, they beat Bolivia 3-1 before eventually losing 5-0 to Colombia. They've also been a constant fixture in the new CONCACAF Nations League, finishing second in 2025. Panama qualified to the 2018 World Cup after defeating Costa Rica 2-1 in their final qualifying match at the Estadio Rommel Fernández, which meant they pipped the United States, the regional giant, on the final game. Roman Torres, who scored the winning goal in the 87th minute, was subsequently considered a national hero. The Estadio Rommel Fernández has become a must-see global soccer atmosphere. This national team, as it has grown and grown, its support has grown and grown, and has become one of the great atmospheres to watch a game, as we saw when they clinched World Cup qualification again for 2026. The name is perfect. Rommel Fernández, the second ever Panamanian player to play in Europe at a time when there wasn't even a professional league, didn't have any impact on the international game despite scoring almost 100 goals in La Liga, but how things have changed. The day after the match, the president of Panama, Juan Carlos Varela, declared a national holiday to commemorate the achievement, stating on his Twitter profile, "The voice of the people has been heard. Tomorrow will be a national holiday." And as we mentioned, at the World Cup itself, it was a little rough. 3-0 loss to Belgium to open things. Then a 6-1 loss to England and a 2-1 loss to Tunisia put them in 32nd out of 32 teams. But they got that one goal, Felipe Baloy versus England, and the team was able to celebrate. Panama has been coached by Thomas Christiansen. The Danish-Spanish former player has been with them since 2020 and has led the team through a huge transformation under him in which they've been able to punch above their weight. In June of 2025, in a 5-2 win over Guadeloupe in the Gold Cup opener, Christiansen became the coach with the most matches in Panama history with 73, surpassing Hernan Dario Gomez. Panama under Christiansen plays a stubborn defensive style that relies on organization and structure. This is the international miniature version of Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. They defend as one unit, but every time they attack, they're accurate with their passing, they're connected, they're cohesive, they know what they want to do, and they know their skill sets. That is what has allowed Panama to contend with every team they've gone up against around the world. They've defeated the U.S. in March of 2025 to make it to the CONCACAF Nations League final. They normally set up in a 3-4-3, and they dominate the ball against some of the lower opponents. We aren't really expecting to see that in the World Cup. This is a Panama squad that has been together for a while. Most of these players are in their prime or just on the back ends of that. They are focused and organized. Many of them play in similar leagues across the CONCACAF region or across some of the parts of Europe. When you look at young players to watch in this team, as I said, this is a more experienced group. But if you don't know the name Coco Carrasquilla, you should. It's the closest thing Panama has to an up-and-coming breakout star at the World Cup. Coco is a midfielder playing for Pumas right now in Liga MX. He is known for his intensity and box-to-box capabilities. He came up through the Panamanian First Division, then he had a stint in Spain before landing with the Houston Dynamo, where he played a huge role in Houston's midfield, winning some trophies before catching the eye of Pumas. In the winter of 2025, he completed his move to Mexico City for a reported fee of $3.5 million, the highest Houston transfer in club history. With Pumas, he's played almost every game and has become an integral piece. He's been part of Panama's recent success, and he already has 69 caps and 3 goals. Well, there are a lot of unsung heroes for this Panamanian soccer scene because there were a lot of characters who stepped up and tried to push the game forward, but just missed out on that final achievement of a Gold Cup win, Copa América qualification, or World Cup qualification. Names like Blas Perez, known as El Matador, who had over 120 caps and is still playing professionally today at the age of 44, now in the indoor scene, alongside another Panamanian legend in Roman Torres, who we talked about, who won Major League Soccer's championship and scored the goal to qualify them for the World Cup. But when you talk about cult heroes, the big name that comes up is Luis Tejada, tied for most goals in Panama history and part of that historic 2018 World Cup team. In his career, he had 25 different club stints with 21 different clubs in 6 different countries. He was a constant threat for Panama, playing 108 games and scoring 43 goals from 2001 to 2018, and he put up some legendary performances. Tejada led Panama to the 2005 CONCACAF Gold Cup final, where they finished as runners-up to the United States in the U.S. He scored 3 goals to end up as joint top scorer, but unfortunately missed his penalty kick in the PK shootout against the U.S. in the final. He was named MVP of the tournament for his efforts. In March 2005, he scored an overhead kick against Mexico in an 2006 World Cup qualifying match to draw Panama level with the CONCACAF Giants. This goal was voted Goal of the Year by Fox Sports, and the bicycle kick became synonymous with him. He provided the assist to Roman Torres on October 10th in 2017, leading to the goal that secured qualification for that World Cup. Tejada tragically passed away on the 28th of January 2024 of a suspected heart attack after playing a pickup game in his hometown of San Miguelito. He was only 41 years old. Tributes to him from fans, media, and players poured in after his passing. Anibal Godoy, the current Panama captain and most capped player for the country, scored a bicycle kick a day after Tejada's birthday and had this to say.
Right after I scored the goal, I want to celebrate like how he celebrate, But, I don't score so many goals. It's really sad for me because we lose one of the best players in Panama. I scored really good goal for him.
We love to leave you with a fun fact and a prediction for every team. On the prediction side, will they finish with a higher place than the last World Cup? And will they finish higher than 32? That's the conversation. With the expanded World Cup, there's obviously more opportunity for success. But this Panama team, as I said, got to the knockouts of Copa América. They made it to the CONCACAF Nations League final as well. Now, both of those were due to the dysfunction of the United States men's national team. They beat them in the group stage. They beat them in the Nations League semifinal. But it shows where Panama stands. They're not going to be intimidated by their opponents. There is a lot of players in this group who have played against a lot of the groups that they will play against at the World Cup in club competitions. Thomas Christiansen is an X factor. He is one of the best international coaches right now in the world. I think it's fair to believe that this Panama team will put on a good showing for themselves at this World Cup, and they'll be in the conversation on the final day of the group stage with a chance to get out. On the fun fact side, I've been lucky enough to go to Panama. It is one of the coolest places in the world. The San Blas Islands are a set of 1,000 islands that sit on the Caribbean side of the country. They are still managed by the native population that live there. And so you have to apply for the ability to go. And some of these islands you can stay on. They have no running water. No one else is on the island. It's your own private island for a day. You can see incredible fauna, incredible animals as well. I highly recommend taking a trip to Panama. Fun fact, Panama has more bird species than the entire continental U.S. There are 986 recorded bird species in just tiny Panama, surpassing the entire United States, which has 914. It makes Panama a popular destination for bird watchers around the world. It is also the place where I had the greatest mojito in my life. Well, we are excited to see Panama at the world stage once again at the 2026 World Cup. If you enjoyed this, you can follow us at Kickback26 for all of our social media coverage, as well as other podcasts surrounding every country at the 2026 World Cup.